Folks, welcome back. You like that? You get it? There's Rudy. You get it? Rudy? In the heart of Rudy. Alright. Folks, welcome back. My name is Rudy. You're watching Alpha Investments. People have been asking, Rudy, come on, bro. Come on. Where's the update on the fab world? Alright, so here we are. I've been monitoring, compiling a list of a lot of interesting facts from the last about 30, 45 days regarding Flesh and Blood. Well, post 2.0 Flesh and Blood. So what I've been trying to do is I've been trying to get a lot of updates from LGSs who handle fab in person, actually sell sealed boxes or single cards, and actually in conjunction with online US. By the way, I know US only in this video because I'm just not informed and I'm too stupid to know what's going on in the rest of the world. So US only marketplaces. So data from LGSs with Flesh and Blood and TCG player data for online with the United States. So this is the only card game right now experiencing this. Almost all of the new Flesh and Blood boxes are so cheap, we have inverted EV, expected value. For those of you new to the channel, we talk about EV about every quarter to 6 months in different card games, where people usually complain in Magic the Gathering. You buy a $130 set box play box, and the cards in the box are like 50 to 60% of the sealed box value. Well, Flesh and Blood is just in this bizarro world where the single card sell-through rate is 10 to 15 times higher than the sealed box sell-through rate. Okay? I don't mean slightly. I mean like flipping 10x. It's wild. So let's go through some examples here. Let's start, like, if you look at the beginning of Uprising in Dynasty, and you look at the box prices and how many sell. Very illiquid, very shallow and calm. You look at the single card market, and of course, led by organized play, the one thing Flesh and Blood just blows out of your stepsister's wallet is going to be the Pro Tour. Their whole organized play is second to none. You can't compare it. Even if Pokemon is the biggest brand in the world, you still cannot compare the system in place of Fab's organized play. It's a gorgeous thing. Nobody questions that. But it's wild to see the players, some people call them Game Piece Army, but the players that are buying the singles, but are very anti-sealed. And you have this crazy-ass situation where, like, if you just go on TCG Player. Don't pause my video. You can pause the inappropriate shit, but still think about me. And you look at the single cards, okay? And, like, starting with Uprising Dynasty, like, it's unbelievable the amount of rares. It's really not going to call rares. The amount of Majestics, Legendary, and Marvels that have desirability, sell-through rates, and financial just demand that keeps the prices elevated. And I've never seen a modern CCG where it's like inverted. Sometimes it inverts on a box, but never on like so many products. Like, it blows my mind. And so then when I got the feedback from different stores, a lot of them go to they have their own vendor booths and everything at the organized play events, and even other ones just around the country, smaller ones, medium sized, everything. And there's a very consistent pattern. And the amount of just the way the customer base interacts with Fab is so unique and different compared to Pokemon and Magic. Like I said, Pokemon, it's like a meme. How much is that new Pokemon box from, I don't know, Sword and Shield? $300? All right, if I open one box, what am I going to get? If you're unlucky, maybe $30. If you're lucky, maybe a couple hundred. Jeez, wait, $300 box and maybe 10 cents on the dollar? Yikes, that makes Rudy's buy prices look good, right? And then, like, you have Flesh and Blood boxes between, like, 50s on the low side, 60s, 70s, then the 80s, all the way up to maybe map at depending on which set, if it's older Uprising, pre or post price change, up to the 87, 90. And if you look at the single cards, like, you go on TCG Player, sort by highest, you don't have an $80 box with like $3 $5 cards. You don't have an $80 box with like, oh, there's one Chase $300 card, everything else is bulk. No, bro. Home Skillet, waffle fries, tater tot. Like, it's fucking crazy. Like, there's like an entire page of like 5, 10, 15 cards. And this lines up with stores saying, well, Rudy, who cares? You buy the fab boxes, you can sit on them and wait and let them age like fine wine, or you can literally, like, what I found was interesting is after speaking to about 15-ish LGSs, mostly southeast of the United States, Florida, Georgia, Alabama, Tennessee, Carolinas, but some Texas, Colorado, West Coast, New York, New Jersey area. But what's interesting is I would say almost all of them, like 70, 80%, we're talking like 3/4, 2/3 range, stated that when they get their sealed product on any new release of Flesh and Blood, they will keep a couple cases sealed for people who want to draft or buy them or do that kind of just having fun with opening packs. There's always going to be people who love the crack packs. It's fun. But the amount of these stores that just said no. Ever since Outsiders or Dusk Till Dawn, we just sell singles. I literally have employees. We get 60 boxes. We get 120 boxes. We just fucking crack everything. And it is incredibly profitable, incredibly successful. Liquidity is just better than many Magic sets. And I'm just like, this is wild. And I don't know how much coverage this gets. You know, I know we just came out of a 2-year bear market. I know Magic to Zero, Post Magic 30, Mark Rosewater, Bottom Water, Floating Water, Titanic. We know Submersibles. Did that ever come back? Oh, that ended bad? I'm not going to talk about that. We know all the drama in the world, okay? We know Hasbro Magic's turning. We know Pokemon's always going to Pokemon. We know what's going on, okay? But this is the only card game that has the single market like this disconnected from the sealed product market. Okay? Sealed product is very stable online, sitting at the MAP pricing, okay? With very limited, with slow sales. But the singles is just wild. And, okay, now let's go to the next one. Like, Rudy's favorite is going to be, like, Dynasty and Dusk Till Dawn. If I had to rank them, probably Dusk Till Dawn's my favorite. Maybe second would be Dynasty. Although the Dragons and Uprising is a cool thing. I know, hot take, make fun of me. Yeah, laugh at my third nut. But, I mean, I actually thought Bright Lights was fun. But again, I've always been really big into steampunk. If you know what I'm talking about, comment below. Like, one of my favorite PC, personal computer games when I was younger, was a PC game. Go on YouTube. There was a game called Siberia, starting with an S. And there was an old PC game that came out years ago I used to play. And it's similar to like old school PC gaming with like Myst and Riven, very old technology games. But there was a game called Siberia. And it was very mechanical, puzzle solving, like steampunky. So for me, Bright Lights was a cool thing. I know the market rejected it. I get the whole Marvels. I get the whole thing going on. And people just, whatever, the theme, too narrow. It does not have wide enough reach for different hero supports, blah, blah, blah. But I just thought it was a neat thing. I know the market wasn't happy with it. But when we look at things like, look at Dusk Till Dawn, okay? And again, we're going to get into the brand new fab set coming up here with Mist, the old Misty coming up. But look at Rudy's favorite shill set, Dusk Till Dawn, with the crazy hidden serialized little sketch cards and everything, and the insane, beautiful Angel Marvel stuff. Like, look at how it's not like, okay, time to open this Commander box and hopefully we get Jeweled Lotus or we lose all our money. All right, let's open this $500 Pokemon box. Did we get the alt art? Nope, we're down 99%. Like, this is like interesting stuff, okay? Because there's a lot of you all watching this channel that always wants to expand. You want to take your hobby to another level. You hate your regular job. You go to work every day. You do just enough work to not get fired. You put up that fake smile. It hurts your face as you look at your boss and Lumberg comes in. He wants you to work the weekends. And all you want to do is go home and sort and play and your cards and watch YouTube. I get it. I get it. So a lot of you out there want to expand further into the cardboard world. And the best and easiest entry point for anybody, it doesn't matter what game you're into, but if you are a fab person, you go the singles route, okay? As far as long-term investing in prices, fab is driven by the meta, the pretty much organized play direction, and what is hot. If heroes end up getting, they win too much and they retire, when you go into that, you have to pay attention and know what's going on. But when you look at these newer sets, yes, if you open a single box, you may not hit a Marvel. You may not hit a Fabled. You may not hit a good Legendary, whatever. Or you may not hit any Legend. But when you go large scale, and large scale to me is 60, 120 boxes or more, you remove a lot of variance, and you start to kind of level out that curve. So when you start, if you're going to be doing, and again, these boxes aren't expensive. So if you crack 120 boxes, 240, 360, 480, 600 boxes, okay, or 720, a pallet or something, and I mean, you remove that variance and you run these numbers, it's a very easy way to expand your reputation, your selling presence on TCG Players or eBay's or whatever you want to use, and actually make 10, 20, 30% return over, a store price that would be $55, $60, or even some of these sets, even if you bought on the open market for $78 or $88 a box, a lot of these, the expected value is pretty much either at the number, slightly below, or slightly above. So depending on your luck on a small scale, can be quite fascinating. So we don't see these kind of odds in a lot of other CCGs right now, okay? You have Magic that's all over the place. Pokemon, Scarlet Violet's going to 0, and of course, anything pre-Scarlet Violet just goes to 1,000 a box. We've got these certain moving forces. One Piece, the Lorcana, the Star Wars, the Sorcery, all these things that are moving around, none of them contain the data points that the single market of Flesh and Blood has. Okay? So let's what does that mean? Okay? Let's move to what does this mean moving forward? Okay? It means that as this stuff ages, if the player base either stays the same or continues at a stable growth rate, you cannot have the sealed product stay at the prices it's at. Right? It's basic supply-demand, teeter-totter, Rudy ex-girlfriend economics. If Rudy's on one side and the X is on the other, the teeter-totter, as it ages, what the fuck kind of analogy is that? I don't know where the fuck I'm going with that. There's no way to keep the data the same. Flesh and Blood, one of two things has to happen. All these single cards that people want have to decline by 30 to 60%. Doesn't look like that's fucking going to happen. Or B, the Flesh and Blood sealed boxes are 20, 30 to 60% underpriced. You can't have it both ways. You can't have a system where literally I can just say, okay, I'm going to hire, let's have one Timmy over here, and let's just literally endlessly crack boxes, accumulate bulk cards and just free cardboard, and then flip cards till we break even, make a percentage profit, and endlessly rinse and repeat. You can't run a machine like that. It's like a perpetual motion thing. What's the joke on the internet about the infinite energy glitch? What? Where do they hide the batteries? You know what I'm talking about? Too much science? Bill Nye, the Rudy guy? Okay. So now let's look at the next two. Okay, let me get, we're not talking about the original 3 Flesh and Blood sets from the beginning and everything with LSS and James and Rudy at the beginning. We're not talking about the original 3 sets. Those things are so rare. The print run's so low. Those are like grail items in the fab world. That we're not talking about. We're only talking about the new stuff right now. Okay, the old stuff is the old stuff. There's not enough to go around. I mean, hell, if you go online right now, what's TCG Player have and eBay have of like sealed WTR boxes? Can you get 10? Can you get 20 boxes? Is there even 10 boxes? I don't even know if there's like 20 boxes on the. I don't even know what it is. But that's kind of indifferent. What's I'm focused on is I've been following and wanting to know what the normal person feels with Flesh and Blood in the new sets. Yes, people bitched and hated bright lights. I still don't think it's that big of a deal, but the market's made up its mind, so fuck it, the market's made up its mind. Heavy hitters, people went into it skeptical. That's because coming off the backs of it said like, oh, it's terrible, that shit. So heavy hitters comes out, have these crazy-ass, gorgeous, full art, fancy schmancy Marvels, cold foil with beautiful artwork. You got Mrs. K leading the pack. You got the giant Betsy that looks like Rudy by next month. And it's fun. People like it. The sell-through rate, the price points are still pretty expensive. Heavy Hitters does not appear to be overprinted, and it appears to be very stable. There's not endless pallets being dumped to distribution. Everything appears to be calm, which is what people want. So where does that leave Misty? Yeah? Where does that leave Misty? Fun fact. I don't know when I'm going to release this video, but we have the first teaser Fab Rudy exclusive promo card video dropping within 72 hours of this video. I'm waiting for the first batch of 100 of the graded cards to come back so we can do like some cool video, little Rudy cheesy 3rd grade video of film school editing. You guys know when I film my videos, like I'm naked pants down, and then when I do the spoiler videos, if you can't see me, because there's no clothes I can't put on YouTube. So we're going to have a really full thing. And remember, the promo card that we're doing for the patrons and slabbing the exclusive is the extended art and is the box art. So it's really cool. That pretty blue color is gorgeous. So we're going to reveal that and talk about it. We're about the end of the month. We got Misty coming out. And everybody wants to know, is this going to make a major impact in the U.S. market with our Princess Queen Misty? Well, in my opinion, historically, data shows that anime anything is very successful. It will lure in people who've never bought into it. It's the reason Magic is doing universes beyond my left nut, right? It's the same damn reason. They are trying to throw nets out there to catch mermaids from people who are not in the card world. That's the whole point of Fallouts and Doctor Who's and Final Fantasies and Magic. And right now we have Fab going into the Japanese market, which is obviously crazy if you know anything about the cardboard world. And no, Magic is not number one in Japan and other Asian countries, believe it or not. It is, Pokemon and Weiss and Bandai type products. One Piece. Oh God, One Piece to a million. So I do believe the anime marvels are going to have a major impact. Now, the details of that impact and how much the U.S. market is excited, accepts, rejects that, we all have to wait to find out. It's never been done. There's never been Fab Marvel anime style. Personally, you guys know me. Waifu, wafu, giant, curvy, inappropriate Rudy over here. You guys know. Where's my other half? Where's my woman? Is she hiding? She probably ran away. So, I like that kind of thing. Okay? Goofball, losing my hair, old man, creepy Rudy. Get your wrinkly self. That's just me. Now, what is the market going to think? Fab cares more about utility. Okay? So, yes, we have the anime style beauty art. Yes, we have this kind of going after that new demographic. But with Fab, not only are they going to need the anime, the Marvel, and the beauty, which we've seen the cards, and I'll put a thumbnail up, but it's going to have good utility. We saw that with the cold foil heroes, with heavy hitters. Mrs. K, Kasa. We need the ones that people want and have good utility and demand. They can build a deck around or have some sort of, meta changing thing. They become really hot and really desirable. So I believe we are going to need some good impact from some of these major cards to really hold those prices. I think the anime will lure it in, but we need some stickiness. We need to, like they say in finance and Wall Street, you need to have the stickiness with your clients and customer base. You need to kind of link onto them with things that make them very sticky, loyal, to not want to change, which is usually for flesh and blood. I think we need utility. So hopefully, as the set's fully revealed, which maybe by the time you watch this, and as this stuff gets kind of coming to market, if the utility is very meta changing, the power level, hopefully power creep's not crazy or anything goofy, but I really think Misty has the ability to kind of really put things in a different direction. Now, I don't know what the impact is going to be as Japan discovers Flesh and Blood. And I think they even have Japanese style, Japanese language Fab for the first time. I don't know what kind of international impact that has. I know from other LGSs, they specifically told me that there is a lot of wealthy people in Japan and in the Japanese market that are into Fab or getting into Fab, and they are going back and making orders and purchasing and acquiring Fab Grail cards, golden foils, and going back to the first three pre-2.0, and they want to have some of these collectible items and collector pieces of early days of Fab. Multiple stores and multiple people, multiple you all and patrons have told me that, who sell singles. A lot of the orders and a lot of people buying expensive, rare old promos, old cold foils, and of course, the first three triad block of Fab era is going to Japan. Okay, which again is a net positive for everybody because that means you have more fresh blood going into the player base. That is the core component. The theory behind CCGs is we want the player base to remain strong with a positive, at minimum, 5 to 15% player base growth a year. Even if you only grow 5% a year of people playing the game, we want that direction because in a long time frame, those players tend to age, and the more loyal they are to the brand, the more that their spend rate will increase, and they will go back buying other sets, older products, and help add to the economy of that brand. So that's what we see going on. So I want to lay all this out there. I've been kind of working on this video and I got my little notes and things back here. I've been working for a couple weeks trying to discuss this. And I've been waiting for some people to respond and give me information. And the conclusion of it all was more positive than I thought, but also more fascinating than I expected. Because this whole flesh and blood world is being driven by single card players. Okay, it's extremely strong. Now again, the spend rate of these players remains nowhere near the highs of the goofy COVID pandemic, stay at home, the flying stuff. If you breathe air, you die. We're nowhere near that level of spend rate. But it does appear that the player base remains very loyal to what's going on, and they are continuing to buy the cards they want, even if the single card they need for their deck or the new meta is going up in price, even if the card is a $30, $50 Majestic, even if it's a three-figure, $100 plus card or a Marvel version, people are buying it. And on top of that, in the last 30 days, to kind of add to those data points, we have continued to see a record number of submissions into PCG Florida here for player slabs. It used to be called the Fab Slab, but we call them the player slab now because we have people slabbing their Star Wars people, Magic Commanders, and of course Flesh and Blood and everything. So we're having people using the new player slab at PCG so that they can slab their gear, their heroes and everything, their weapons, all that fun stuff. And it continues to be on a week over month, week over week, month over month increase of the previous for the quantity of people wanting player slabs. What started off as maybe like a couple orders a week went to like a couple orders a day. So it started just, I'm talking not for card grading, just for a certain slab. And it's not like these orders are coming in requesting one fab card. I mean, it's like a stack. It's like 5, 10, 20, 50, 100 cards of all cold foils and heroes that people are want to use because they can play with them and do that. And the other point I wanted to add is the reason I'm bringing this up is one of the things I like being able to see the cards that go through grading is because it's not, most of the cards being graded are not high-end old, I was going to say ABU, WTR tunics and all kinds of original, WTR art crew cards. The cards being slabbed are Fab 2.0. They are legendaries, they are marvels, they are fabled, and some of them are actually just fancy Majestics that are being slabbed. It's not just the old versions. And that has been more interesting. I would say they're great. It's like Magic. We are seeing more newer graded Magic cards, modern cards, not originals, not old man Rudy shit. We're seeing newer stuff slabbed. And that reinforces that younger people in the player base are actually still there. And across the board, they are still spending. Maybe not at, goofy, manipulated, government, crypto, 8,000 shit coins to the moon, but the spend rate's still there. It's not as strong, but again, the U.S. economy is just fucking, you have 1% just making fortunes because all assets are inflating. And then the entire working class is just getting punched in the face by Chuck Norris's wife every day. Does Chuck Norris have a wife? I don't know, but I'm sure she's amazing. It's just one of those things where it's very confusing. So that's why I wanted to compile this. I wanted to wait for people to respond. I wanted to have a conversation about it. So as we move forward the end of the month with Queen Misty coming, it's going to be interesting to see how the market stabilizes afterwards with the anime style and Japanese influence of a new Flesh and Blood set. So we've never seen it. It's going to be interesting. Obviously, as we approach it, I'll give you guys some more spoiler videos and we'll talk about it. I do admit, I track the quantity of messages you all send me and patron messages, of asking. I always track weird, stupid shit because I'm just a weirdo like that. I track how many patrons within 60 days of a new launch kind of ask questions about it. How many people are excited? I didn't get many questions for, Outsiders and like Bright Lights. It was very minimal. But in the heavy hitters, there was definitely an uptick. And with Misty, I've seen about similar, maybe about 10% higher than the people interested in heavy hitters messaging me, who are patrons asking about, Rudy, when are you going to sell it? Because again, we're going to do like a whole sealed case of Misty. You get a graded promo and everything. And we're just going to probably do the map pricing type thing, maybe plus a couple dollars. And we're going to leave it at that. We'll double box everything, get you guys a slab card and do it all. And we're just going to kind of see how it goes and see what you all's reaction is going to be on everything. That's it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. We will do another follow-up here. If you have more information, or if you are another store that I've never communicated with, send me a message, or if you're a patron, send me a message and give me your experience and your opinion on there. Did I miss anything dramatic going on? One or two last little things I did want to add, like specifically on certain Fab 2.0 sets, and Heavy Hitters is too new, Bright Lights is too new, but going back further, like specifically Dusk Till Dawn, that's always been one of the sets I've been intrigued with because it kind of came out, was kind of out of print because it had the serialized sketch insert cards, and it remains similar to Dynasty has a bunch of expensive cards, but it's bottlenecked into, like, obviously your Emperor Marvel, and of course, what was it? The CNC Cold Foil was Fable, right? Fable. So you have two major expensive hitting cards in Dynasty that are like, what are they, like $600, $700, $800 a card? And these boxes are like, what, $75 on TCG Player? Like, it's, and I get, these things are probably one in every 50 boxes type thing, but, you have a lot of other cards that are not bulk. There's like 30 more cards that are like over like $5, like the pack cost. And it's, Dynasty is not even a huge set. So you have a lot of bizarre, distorted data points, at least in the USA. And the other thing I've been following, like I said, and Dusk Till Dawn's the other one I've been, and I've been trying to figure that out. Like I've even like, dude, should I hire a local person here? Should we just like mass box open like everything? And just like set up a singles operation? Like, there's just things where it's like, is the potential, like if you make plus 10 to 40% a box on a large scale? Anyways, so I just want to lay that out there, and I encourage you all, check TCG Player, look at the single card pricing, and when you click on them, I mean, most of these rares and majestics that are $5 to $30, I mean, they've got a lot of liquidity too, which is very impressive. It's not like it's one investor just putting a fake number up. All right, I'm done. I'm hungry. Have a great day, everybody. Giggity.